Chapter 1. The casket isn't mine. The funeral was quiet. Too quiet for someone like Aaron, my twin brother. He was loud, full of life, the kind of guy who could make a funeral feel like a party, just by showing up late with that crooked smile of his. But now, he was the one in the casket, or so I thought. Rain tapped softly on the tent above the gravesite. I stood there, numb in my black suit, watching the priest's lips move without hearing a single word. My wife, Elena, stood beside me, her hand wrapped around mine, but I couldn't tell if it was comfort or control. Our parents were 2 rows ahead, stiff and hollow, not a single tear shed between them. Their faces looked like they were attending a business meeting, not their son's funeral. The whole thing felt off. Then, just as the casket began to lower, my phone buzzed in my pocket. I shouldn't have checked it, but something compelled me to. It was a text from Aaron's number. "I'm not dead. That's not me in the casket." My blood ran cold. I looked around, half expecting to see someone watching from the trees, but there was no one. Just the whisper of the wind through wet leaves. My fingers trembled as I typed back, "Aaron, where are you?" A long pause. Then another message appeared. "Can't say. They're listening. Don't trust your wife and our parents." I stared at the screen. My pulse thundered in my ears. Aaron was alive. But why fake his death? And why warn me about Elena? And our own parents? That night I couldn't sleep. Elena tried to hold me, but I feigned exhaustion. Her arms felt colder than the rain at the funeral. And deep down, a terrible truth began to take root. Whoever was in that casket, it wasn't my brother. And the people I thought I could trust most might have had everything to do with it. Chapter 2. The Hidden Phone. The morning after the funeral, I drove to Aaron's apartment. He'd lived alone for 3 years, in a small 1-bedroom above a hardware store. Usually it was messy, chaotic, but this time it was too clean. No photos, no clothes, no toothbrush. Even the fridge was empty, except for 1 bottle of water and a jar of pickles. Aaron hated pickles. It didn't look like someone had died. It looked like someone had been erased. Aaron had always been paranoid. Ever since a bad fallout with a former employer 2 years ago, he'd started saying things like, "Always keep a second trail. Never let them see your first layer." So I searched the apartment top to bottom, under the bed, inside the vents, behind the closet panels. Then I remembered a trick from when we were kids, a fake electrical socket behind his dresser. I pried it open. Inside was a small black burner phone, wrapped in plastic. It still had battery. I unlocked it using his old childhood password, blastoff 2. Only 3 contacts were saved: Jay, Doc, and Red Fox, and 1 video file. When I played it, my world stopped. Aaron appeared on screen, breathless, looking over his shoulder in the woods. "If you're seeing this, I either escaped or I didn't make it. But if there's a funeral and a body, that's not me. That's a setup. The people behind it? They're close. Closer than you think. I found something I wasn't supposed to. Now they're trying to shut it down. Start with Elena, and if you're brave enough, ask Dad about Cold Ridge. Whatever you do, don't trust anyone, especially not Mom." The screen went black. I just stood there, phone frozen in my hand. My family, our own parents, might have helped fake Aaron's death. Or worse. One question echoed louder than all the rest. What really happened on that hiking trip? Chapter 3, Cold Ridge Sunday. My father's ritual grilling day. Even after the funeral, he stood on the patio flipping burgers like nothing had happened. I walked up. "Dad, what happened at Cold Ridge?" He froze. Completely. Then he turned and said, "Where'd you hear that name?" I told him the truth. Aaron's message, the video, the warnings. He sighed and stared into the grill fire. "Cold Ridge was a research facility, military adjacent, privately funded. Your brother and I were part of a pilot program. A long time ago? A program for what?" I asked. He looked toward the house where Mom was watching us through the glass. "Cognitive and physical enhancement," he said quietly. "Memory trials, neuroplasticity acceleration, stuff that doesn't officially exist. Your brother was one of the only successful test cases. But when the program went dark, Others wanted to use him. They called it asset retention. He called it being hunted. So, he faked his death to get out? Dad nodded. If he contacted you, that means someone slipped up. And if you dig deeper, they'll come for you too. I swallowed hard. What do I do? Disappear, he said flatly. Or finish what he started. That night I made my choice. I wasn't running. I was going to find my brother. Chapter 4. The handler Elena, Aaron's ex, was the key. When I arrived at her home 2 towns over, she opened the door and froze. "You look like him," she whispered. "I'm his twin," I said. "And he's alive." Her eyes filled with tears. I knew he couldn't stay dead. She led me inside. Her living room was covered in sticky notes and open journals, like a detective's lair. Then she unlocked a drawer and handed me a file marked Project Echo Unsanctioned Trials. I wasn't just his girlfriend, she confessed. I was his handler. They sent me to monitor his progress, but what they did to him, it broke him. When he escaped, he took something with him, a drive. It holds everything, files, names, videos, proof. I flipped through the file, and there they were. My parents, both listed as senior project leads. My blood ran cold. Chapter 5. Into the forest. The map Elena gave me led deep into the woods, 2 miles off any road. When I found the shack, it looked abandoned. Then the door creaked open. Aaron stood there, beard grown, thinner, wary, but alive. "You shouldn't have come," he said. "They lied to me," I told him. "About everything," he nodded. "Then you know why I disappeared, but now they found me again." Before I could respond, a twig snapped outside. Aaron grabbed my arm and whispered, "They followed you." Dark figures moved between trees. A voice called out, calm, cold. "Aaron Cross, Nathan Cross, come out with the drive." They knew both our names. Aaron shoved a flash drive into my jacket. "If I don't make it, you protect that. It's everything." Gunfire erupted. We ran. Chapter 6. The tower we climbed, an old ranger tower, to gain height. Aaron plugged the drive into a transmitter. "Once this finishes," he said, "it'll be everywhere." "What's on it?" I asked. He looked at me. "Our childhood. The scholarship Dad said I won, it wasn't real. It was recruitment. We were part of a behavioral experiment since birth. Twins. Tested for loyalty, fear, and obedience. They turned us into living data. Then, upload complete. The files went public. All of it. And that's when everything began to collapse. Chapter 7. The reckoning within days. Project Echo exploded across the news, government cover-ups, child experiments, mind manipulation. Our parents' names were exposed. My wife's name, too, listed as a psychological monitor assigned to me. She was never my partner. She was my handler. When she called, I let it go to voicemail. "Nate, please." I had no choice. They were blackmailing me. "Please call me back." I didn't. Instead, I walked into my childhood home with Aaron at my side. Our parents were waiting. "You should be grateful," Dad said. "You were chosen." "Chosen?" Aaron snapped. "You faked my death." Mom broke down. "You don't understand. It was for progress." "No," I said. "It was for control." I handed them a court summons. "You'll be testifying before Congress." Aaron and I turned our backs and walked away for the last time. Chapter 8. Ghosts in the Mirror. 6 months later, we sat side by side on a live interview stage. The world knew our names. But for the first time, they knew the truth too. "You can fake a death," Aaron said on air. "Erase a past. Manipulate a mind. But you can't bury the truth forever." Project Echo was shut down. Our parents were sentenced. My wife disappeared. Aaron moved to the mountains. I started a foundation for victims of manipulation and government abuse. Sometimes I look in the mirror and barely recognize myself. But I survived. I didn't crawl out of that grave. They tried to bury me in. I built something stronger on top of it, not for revenge, but for truth. Because truth, it always finds its way back from the dead. Outrow, for YouTube voiceover. Was this revenge justified? Tell us in the comments below. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button, share it with someone who loves a good twist, and subscribe to Lauren's story for more tales of betrayal and justice, because here, every lie meets its reckoning, and every betrayal finds its shadow. Stay sharp, stay strong, stay tuned.